What's up, y'all? Welcome to the NBA Weekly Post Game. This is where we share our views on the latest trending topics within the NBA. My name is Sha.
And I'm Evay, and we have a lot to talk about. In today's episode, we're going to give you our player of the week. We're going to also share our thoughts on Zion Williamson and his relationship with the Pelicans. We're going to discuss James Harden and his Philly debut. And we're going to also talk about why the TNT network decided to bump one game for another. Let's get started.
So my player of the week is a first-time NBA All-Star by the name of DeJounte Murray from the San Antonio Spurs. Let me just tell you, DeJounte is averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists on the season. He recently had a monstrous game in double overtime against the Washington Wizards where he scored 31 points, 13 rebounds, and dropped 14 dimes. Count them off. I'm telling you, the Spurs are lucky to have DeJounte because if he was in another market, in another town, we would be hearing more about DeJounte Murray. He has earned his place on the Mount Rushmore of young generation players, the young superstars, So I'm thinking DeJounte Murray is my player of the week.
Facts. I like that. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Murray is over there killing it. I agree. Which leads me to my player of the week. My player of the week is also a first-time All-Star by the name of Ja Morant. Can I tell you that Ja Morant has put the small market team back on the map? Like, he has single-handedly made the Grizzlies relevant. So much so that the commentator heads and the league commentators are now talking about him as much as they talk about other players. Ja Morant right now can put up 46 points in one game and think nothing of it, not even be winded. Let's just talk about that. His downhill game is explosive, right? He alone dismantled the Bulls defense. If you watched it, you would have been like, what just happened? Ja Morant is so great, and he makes the game so exciting to watch that it almost makes me feel like these veteran players should be somewhere sitting on the sidelines with some ice on their knees. Like, it is just so fun to watch. I am so excited about what Ja Morant has brought to the game of basketball now, and what his playmaking and his ability and skills have been able to bring to the Memphis Grizzlies franchise, which now makes them a contender where teams are scared of in the Western Conference. So Ja Morant, my player of the week. And not only that, we're not talking about just 1 or 2 games. In the month of February, he has made his average 30 points a game, and he's shooting 48% from the field in the month of February. So can you imagine what that would look like in the postseason? Because trust me, Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies will find themselves in the postseason, and they will be playing against a team that they will upset. I'm just saying. So you heard it here first, but Ja Morant is my player of the week.
Oh, Ja, I like that grit and grind in Memphis, and they're playing without Dillon Brooks. Wait till he gets back.
I'm just telling you, it's amazing. And then also I can see Ja Morant's leadership developing. Like, it's just he is the quintessential young player making it happen, and I love it.
The New Orleans Pelicans made a splash when they brought in CJ McCollum. But I think the whole idea was for him to be embraced by Zion Williamson upon his arrival. What's going on with Zion? Has he not reached out to CJ? If he has, was it heartfelt? Does Zion Williamson even want to play for the New Orleans Pelicans? What's up with Zion?
Okay, so the answer to your last question, no. He don't want to play for the New Orleans Pelicans. They drafted him, and he don't want to play for them. I think it's less about his connection with CJ McCollum, more so about that he just doesn't want to be in New Orleans. I think that's really what it is. And I was reading some articles where the Zion Williamson's camp do not believe that David Griffin is trustworthy, which leads me to believe that some of the verbal agreements that he may have given to them have not come to pass. And also, Zion Williamson's whole narrative gives me Kawhi Leonard, in a sense that you're not going to know anything that's going on. I'm going to tell you at the last minute, and you're going to get these little crumbs of information. That's what it gives me. So I just don't think he wants to be there anymore, but he's up for an extension. So hopefully he'll get it. But I don't know. I think it's the relationship is kind of sour. So unfortunately for CJ McCollum, now that he's come into, excited about his new team, he's not getting that welcome from Zion. And I don't think it's anything personal to CJ. I think it's just more so about Zion and how he feels about the Pelicans.
Okay. Now, there has been talks from the very beginning, before Zion even entered the league, that he did not want to go to New Orleans. He wanted to go to the New York Knicks. Now, imagine Zion in the New York Knicks market. Now, if he were to pull this, where he's only played, 85 games in 3 seasons, they would be eating him up right now. He's lucky he's down in the Big Easy, because I think the fans and just the New Orleans community is a little bit more welcoming and a little bit more accepting of what exactly where he's doing right now. Because he went 0-30. I mean, he's not on the sidelines. Like, where is Zion?
He is, yeah, and then he's still young, so let's go there, right? So we're talking about putting all this pressure on a young player and a player that has not completed a season. He came into the league with all this hype. However, it fizzled quickly, right?
Yes.
And I've said it in previous discussions. Are we done with the Zion Williamson's experience in New Orleans? And I believe the answer is yes. And let's just be honest. Whatever Zion decides to do, he can most definitely write the coattail of the Harden and Ben Simmons effect. He can write the coattail of that. What he's doing right now is no different than what James Harden and Ben Simmons has done on their team that they wanted to leave. So
you think so? I don't really see it that way. Zion hasn't proved anything. He hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything. That's why it makes this whole 0-30, as you mentioned, tricky. Right? You know, at least Harden and at least Ben Simmons, they have seasons of, excellence. And so we're still waiting to see what that looks like. But we all know that it's not what you've done for me lately. It's what can you do for me in the future? And so with this pending second surgery on his foot, makes it really questionable whether or not his future is something that teams would want to invest in. And that's what's scary. So although from what I'm reading, again, I don't know how true is this, it's from the articles. You guys can read the same articles. But if you read the articles, it's that his camp, Zion's camp, is not happy with David Griffin and the New Orleans Pelicans. Well, guess what? Because Zion have not been able to complete a full season, and because what fans and what the organization, I'm quite sure, has anticipated you in becoming for their franchise has not come to fruition, y'all need to work it out.
Yeah. The thing is, Zion came into the league as the second coming of LeBron James, right? You monstrous. I mean, athletics. I don't know. He's 6'8", 6'9". He can jump through the roof. He's powerful. I haven't seen this type of strength in a player in a long time. But the thing is, he is young. I think he does lack a sense of maturity, but it's expected, right? It's expected. I don't think that he needs to be the leader of the team just because he is allegedly the best player on the team. And I finally agree with you, because you mentioned Kawhi Leonard earlier. He is the best player on the Los Angeles Clippers, but I would not venture to say that he's the leader of the Los Angeles Clippers, nor is Paul George. So I get that. Zion just wants to come in. He wants to fit in. He wants to get on the court and do his thing. But outside of that, I mean, we haven't seen much from Zion.
And you're not going to. And guess what? For me, that is okay. Because where I want you to show up is on the court, number one. Hence is why they probably brought in CJ to be that leader, because he's going to be the leader for sure. Only because of his veteran professionalism. I mean, he's been in the league for a long time. I think just naturally he comes professional. He just gives me that corporate, like that's what I'm going to do. I'm quite sure he can probably be president of operations as well as play on the court. I can see CJ being someone like that. But yeah, so I really think that what we're anticipating Zion to be, he's not going to be that person. Y'all forget it. He's not going to be the leader. So that's why I say it's almost like Kawhi. Like, you don't really know what's going on in their camp. You ain't going to know what's going on in Zion's camp either. And if trust is an issue with the franchise, there is a problem. There's a problem. However, I stand firm on, because he has not been able to put enough experience under his belt, it makes his situation a bit tricky. So he may have to play along and get along.
Yeah. Because most of us are just looking at maybe his one season at Duke, and then his second year in the league where he played 61 games, because his rookie year, he was out injured. And this year, his third season, we haven't seen him at all. So do you think he'll sign his extension in the offseason?
I would say yes, he should. However, there is a precedent set that the league or the New Orleans Pelicans can kind of mirror in a sense, and that's what the 76ers did with Joel Embiid. Because if you
Hmm.
think about it, Joel Embiid came into the league a little injured. He didn't complete a couple of seasons and all that good stuff. So if you wanted to kind of parallel their particular journey into the league, Joel Embiid would be a great player to look at to see how Zion Williamson can still be very successful in the future if the New Orleans Pelicans can build trust with his camp. So I would say he would need to sign. And if another team decides to sign him, I don't know, but he's going to have to sign because he's going to be a restricted free agent,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, he's
yeah.
going to be restricted. So he might as well just go ahead and sign it and do what James Harden and Ben Simmons did and just go to another team later. That's just fine.
And
I
fresh
don't really,
away
to
out.
be a bold prediction, I don't really see Zion Williamson being with the New Orleans Pelicans next season, if I'm going to be
Oh,
honest.
oh, I don't either. I don't either. And if they're smart, the Pelicans management, if they're smart, they don't want him on the team right now because he's
No.
going to bring bad energy to the group. And it's not fair to CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Kira Lewis Jr. It's not fair to them.
It's not fair to them. And I don't know why the New Orleans Pelicans want to do another cycle of Anthony Davis. I just don't
Yeah,
know why they want
yeah.
to do that again, right? They've
Hmm.
already experienced it with him. Why even ride the wave with that? Go ahead and sign, give him his extension, and then help him find another team. That's it. Because
Hmm.
really, at this point, we need to be focusing more on CJ and Brandon Ingram's connection, and they will be the 1 and 2 of the New Orleans Pelicans next season. That's just what it's going to be.
So let's transition to the city of brotherly love. I mean, we talked about the Big Easy, but now we're going to switch over to the city of brotherly love and James Harden for the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm telling you, he looked pretty good in his debut.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about James in Philly?
James in Philly is nice. You know what though? Very good pickup for them. I can see why they wanted him on their team. And with James Harden on that roster, ooh, Philly is gonna go deep in the playoffs. Oh, I
Uh-huh.
see it. Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, oh yeah, because he can shoot the ball. So when you have him shooting the ball and you have Joel Embiid and his um, abilities, it leaves everybody else open. Now I'm just gonna need to make sure that Danny Green, when you are given the ball, you put it in the basket. But other than that, I mean, just think about it. The last game they played, what Tyrese Maxey was able to get 28 points. It
Hmm.
just kind of helped space the floor. It's perfect. It's gonna be a perfect. It's gonna be a perfect marriage. However, the moment James Harden is no longer happy,
Uh-oh.
he is going to want out. So what I'm saying is this: James Harden is not loyal to any team anymore. He left his loyalty in Houston. Y'all, I'm telling you right now. So any team that James Harden is on, y'all better make sure he is extremely happy and that y'all continue to win. Because the moment that doesn't happen, he is going to jump ship. So Philly, enjoy it while you got it.
Now, I think James is extremely happy right now. He has said it himself. But the thing is, though, if we talk about that season debut between him, James Harden, Maxey, and Embiid, they scored 89 of the 133 points. They put up more assists and three-point shooting than ever before. James Harden, I think his loyalty is to Daryl Morey, who was with the Houston
Ah,
Rockets. And Daryl,
fair,
yeah,
fair,
James Harden has
fair,
made it clear that he
fair,
wanted to be in Philadelphia from the beginning, even before Brooklyn.
fair.
And he wanted to be under Doc Rivers. Now, I don't see James being unhappy any part of this season or next season. I think he signed an extension, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So why wouldn't he be happy? He went from the Brooklyn Nets, who were kind of like not really achieving. He went from an eighth seed to the third seed. And I had the Philadelphia 76ers being the top seed in the Eastern Conference when it's said and done. I can't imagine why James Harden would be unhappy at all over the next couple of seasons because Joel Embiid is not going anywhere.
No, no, I agree with you. He's going to be extremely happy. Unfortunately, everybody in that locker room from the coaching staff will be walking on eggshells. Let me
Mm.
just tell you right now, he may be a great team player because he's not a good team player. No, he may be an awesome team player. I question him being an awesome employee. So at the end of the day, it all sounds good. And then what's really hard is when you are connected that closely to someone that's Daryl Morey.
Mhm.
What Doc Rivers gonna be able to do?
Mm.
What are you gonna be able to do? Nothing. So again, he is in a perfect situation. He is going to be running the Philadelphia 76ers from the back end. Let me just tell you right now. They know, we all know that Joel Embiid is the marquee player for the 76ers, right? But they need to make sure they keep James Harden happy, because if he is not happy this season, next season, for whatever reason, you will see the demise of James Harden in Philadelphia. It's just what's going to
Uh,
happen. So they're going to be walking on eggshells, and I hope it all works out for him, because I'm telling you right now, that debut was amazing to watch. So yeah.
okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I think James is there for the long haul. I just do.
Okay.
I think we all know that NBA basketball is a business, and these TV ratings, and hey, it's no different, because I'm telling you, recently TNT bumped the Brooklyn Nets Miami Heat game for the Grizzlies and the Celtics. Who saw that coming?
Nobody at the beginning of the season, because if I can recall, the Nets were going to be the Eastern Conference champions. If I can recall, if my memory serves me correct, the Nets were supposed to be winning the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, guess what? That ain't happening now. And so these teams, these networks were like, people ain't watching their games.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not explosive as they were anticipated. Yeah, no, it is about the mighty dollar, and it's about the advertising dollars, and it's about what team is exciting. And I'm so sorry, but the Nets, I think it's more so about the Nets than it is about the Heat. The Heat is number one in the East as we speak. So yeah, the Nets. Sorry.
And the game is in Brooklyn, so there will be no Kyrie, probably no Ben Simmons, and KD is still nursing his injury. So who wants to watch a Nets team without those three players?
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly. I don't either. I think the game would have still been on the national TV circuit if Ben Simmons would be playing, but he's not going to play. So, because again, it's still about Ben Simmons, even if Kyrie wasn't there, because people are anticipating on what Ben Simmons is going to now bring to the league, because he ain't played all year. So, unfortunately, since he's not playing, and I believe even if Kevin Durant comes back, it's still not enough. And yeah, I agree. I'm okay with them bumping the Nets Heat game for the Grizzlies and the Celtics. The Grizzlies must see basketball. Must see basketball.
Absolutely. And the Celtics really turned their season around. I mean, Jason, Jalen, oh my God. So now we get to watch the three J's, Ja, Jason, and Jalen.
No, I'm serious. And I think because, the Boston Celtics, there is a love for them in the NBA anyway. They're one of the, storied teams along with the Lakers. So let's just be honest. So for them not to get the recognition that they should have received earlier in the season, and now to have it now, yeah. I can't wait to watch that matchup, because that's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to watch it. Yeah.
I know. I wonder if Charles Barkley and them had anything to do with this, because if you watch the TNT Inside the NBA, they are not shy about saying, "Oh, we don't want to watch that game. I'm going to be eating popcorn." Like, they do not hold back.
And don't let them do the when they're in the back shots. Sleep, eating snacks, walking around.
Exactly. But for the Grizzly Celtics game, they're going to be glued to the TV. I'm telling you.
Because it is exciting to watch. Number one, for Ja Morant, who has now made a voice for himself. You know what to be funny about it? This really may have stemmed from Ja Morant's comment back in February when they bumped the Grizzlies games for the Knicks game. And Ja Morant made a comment, about that, right? So when you're able to say something and make moves, because that's exactly what Ja Morant is able to do right now, this is what we have. And not only did they add this game, but they also add like 3 other games. Like I want to say 2 more on TNT and another one on ESPN from the Grizzlies. So not only can Ja Morant speak something into existence, because that's exactly what he did. They changed the nationally televised game outlook for the rest of the season, because I want to say on the strength of that comment that he made. But not only does he have the comment and the voice, but he also got the skills.
Yeah.
So the games are super exciting. We talk about who's going to be the next, voice and the next person of the NBA. Is Ja Morant in the running for that?
You know what? He could be. He could be between. I'm telling you, because if you even look at the NBA 75 from the NBA All-Star game, they actually showed us the next generation of superstars. And it was Ja, it was Devin. I mean, either one of them could really take the torch and run with it at this point.
I really hope they do. I can't say it enough. It is time, NBA,
Yes.
to move out of these old narratives and bring in the new. I'm ready for it. As an
Mhm.
NBA fan of the game, it is very difficult for me to still hear about some of these old players. I'm serious. When you got people like Mr. Murray with the Spurs killing it.
Mhm.
You know, when you finally, thank goodness, John Morant has a voice where people are listening, and then he has the skills to back it up. So
Yeah.
now the Memphis Grizzlies as a whole, the franchise is becoming, an amazing watch, right?
Yeah.
So will
Mhm.
CJ McCollum do that for the New Orleans Pelicans? I mean, what I'm saying is let's start shifting, y'all, please.
It's time.
It's time. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. Okay.